since you're black and I'm white, that makes it more special for the audience.
Did you say black? You called him black?
He is black.
Oh, he said it again. Oh, Lord. This racism is killing me inside.
You are white.
You are black. And the who cares? Who cares, baby?
My name is Damon Never Black Enough Wear.
This is Kevin Way Too White Schneider. This is a black and white review, the one podcast where a white guy and a black guy review movies about a white guy and a black guy.
And we can talk in a room without killing each other. Because like, you know, it's apparently that's super rare all of a sudden, but you know, it is what it is. We're fighting all the odds. We're trying to mitigate the race war. Like one good relationship at a time, folks. That's the point of this podcast.
Black and white review. Chiseling down racism one episode at a time.
If you take anything away from this, like put it on my headstone, I tried to mitigate a race war. I tried my best.
Damn it, David, now we're on the FBI's most wanted lists.
We were already, Kevin. I've had computer access since I was like 11 or 12. Like that ship has sailed long ago, dude. It's fucking over.
You're listening to episode 4. This week we're talking about the 2008 movie Jumper, and you're probably asking yourself,
what the hell's Jumper?
What's Jumper? What the hell? What's a Jumper?
Is that
Jumper?
song? Is that song Jumper?
Yeah, they made Third Eye Blind, that song. They made into a feature-length movie. That's what it is, right, Damon? That's what it is?
That's what I thought as well. But then I remembered back to 2008, and I was like, oh, wait, that's when, like, you know, this movie probably got swallowed by, like, Iron Man. That came out in the same year. I'm trying to think of, like,
Dark Knight came out the same year.
Dark Knight came out the same year.
Incredible Hulk.
Did it really? Oh, my God.
Because Incredible Hulk came out, like, a few months after Iron Man.
Oh, shit. So, yeah. So this was, like, this was the year for superhero whatever, and this movie was like, well, we don't have like an actual property, so it's based off books no one's read.
which is another good point, like, because this was the point where they were just kind of like making whatever superhero movie that wasn't actually a superhero, because like I guess legal rights weren't anywhere, so like we were starved for superhero movies kind of at this point. I mean, we still had some stuff, like we had like I think we had the Spider-Man trilogy at this point. We had most of the X-Men, or the first 3 X-Men's.
Yeah.
Like Ang Lee Hulk. It was like the early 2000s. It was like, honestly, this was like the year that superhero movies kind of like jumped up a level. But this is not one of the movies to jump up that level.
No.
All
Don't want to give that. Oh, spoiler! It's not one of those movies.
No, this did not change the game at all. If anything, it just learned from the game and took all the most cliche parts of it and made it into one movie.
Yeah, it learned all the wrong lessons from like a narrative, even from a narrative perspective. Let alone like the superhero aspect, just from like a storytelling perspective. It just takes every bad thing in like movies and summer blockbusters and just throws it up on the screen. And the people that made the movie are pretty capable people. Like the dude wasn't the director.
So this was directed by Doug Liman, and at the time he was known for, he did Swingers, The Bourne Identity, and Mr. and Mrs. Smith. That was kind of I remember even seeing the posters like from the director of The Bourne Identity and Mr. and Mrs. Smith. And he would even go on to make good movies. Like he made I mean I didn't write it down just because I was trying to think of like what he did at the point, but he did Edge of Tomorrow or Live Die Repeat, depending on which version you're watching, because they couldn't decide what to call that movie, even though Edge of Tomorrow is like the dumbest title ever.
Bland, very bland.
It just sounds like a rock 80s album.
James Bond like movie.
It really does.
Almost, honestly.
One of the Pierce Brosnan James Bond movies.
He can't stay dead. Halle Berry keeps bringing him back.
It was so yeah. What you were saying is made by pretty capable people. So it was written by David S. Goyer. I'm probably gonna butcher this part. Jim Onus. He was one of the names I didn't recognize. In Simon Kinberg. Simon Kinberg recently made Dark Phoenix, and David Goyer, he was a writer on like the Dark Knight trilogy. He did a lot of stuff with Blade. Like he directed Blade Trinity, and he did some of the not the more recent DC stuff, but like he was a part of like Man of Steel and Batman v Superman. I don't think he was Justice League though. But I mean, kind of big deal. And then like Damon said, this is based off of a book by Stephen Gould, which I didn't even know it was a book until we were doing this.
Yeah, no. I just assumed it was always just like a bunch of producers being like, "What's hot right now? Like, let's just make it a thing." But it makes more sense that it's based off a book series, and the movie's like trying to rush so much. Like I feel like they got all of the source material, and they were like they didn't know how to handle it, so they just kind of butchered it and just gave us the most. I feel like they thought the thing we got was the most exciting parts of the book, maybe. Like, maybe that was the thing that they thought would grab our attention as much.
It's very short. It's
hour and like with the runtime, not the credits involved, I clocked it like an hour and 22 minutes of just movie.
Disney movies are longer than that. Like, it's insane.
Bro.
Like, old cartoon Disney movies are longer than that.
And for the amount of money they spent on this shit, too, like, you would think that...
85 million, you said?
85 million for the budget. And most of it's just, like, them going around the different locations that you'll see very choppily in the movie. Yeah. Like, throughout, like, the... So even if you spend all this money going to these places, you can't even really enjoy the scenes because it's so goddamn frantic. Because the person that... like you were just saying, like, person made the Bourne Identity, like, his camera shit is, like, all over this movie. Yeah. And that, I'm not really a big fan of, like, those action scenes for the Bourne, like, movies like that.
You actually might be thinking of the sequels. He only did Bourne Identity.
Oh, he only did Bourne Identity.
Paul Greengrass did the other ones, and I know what you mean, but the cuttiness of it.
Yes, the cuttiness of like, that, like, type of, like, action was already kind of exciting to me, but now you're coupling it with this movie where the whole point of, like, the main character, he teleports. Like, that's the whole thing. It's Jumper. Like,
so I don't think we kind of didn't really explain what the movie is about, in case you don't know, because if you didn't see this movie back when it came out, you probably have no fucking clue what we're talking about. So Jumper, what it's about the young man, David, who basically just discovers he can teleport.
David Rice.
So, played by Hayden Christensen, he just kind of decides, oh, I can teleport. Like, I'm going to run away from home because my home life's really hard. So he runs away from home, and then right away he's like, all right, time to rob banks. So he starts robbing banks. And then it's just him kind of doing...
himself up for life, and then he's just doing, like, cool white guy shit, and just not caring the world, like surfing. And...
That's one thing that's hilarious. It's like, when I see what he's doing, it's like, this is what, like, I would do, which is not cool. Because it's like, I would just do... Yeah, I would travel. Yeah, I would go have a beer on top of the Sphinx, and I would go, like, go to, like, Hawaii one day, or go to London another... Like, all in the same day, actually. Like, you can do it all whatever you want. But, like, if you actually have that power for as long as he has it, it's like... How do you not just do, like, crazier stuff after a certain point?
Yeah, he's just kind of been, like, a tourist. He's just like, I'm just going to be a tourist forever. It's like, you have, like, a dope apartment, and that's the thing, it's like, people, like, I would never get bored. It's like, everyone always says that, but it would become your new normal, and you would have to find something to like, stoke the boredom, so you become, like, a murderer.
Yeah, so basically, he's teleporting, kind of doing whatever he wants, and then the bad guys kind of catch on his trail, part of the secret evil organization, or they're called Paladins. And the main paladin of the movie, the main big bad, is Samuel Jackson. And that's kind of where the black and white comes in for this one. So it's the white protagonist and the black antagonist. But honestly, the protagonist in the movie is such a piece of shit. I think they're all villains, kind of. Like, I don't want anyone to win in this movie.
I could not get behind David Rice. I can get behind Rice Ball for a second. That was one of the nicknames, one of the really clever, one of the better dialogue portions of the movie.
Did someone actually call him that? I thought you just made that up.
I wish, Kevin, I'm better than that. No. That was like at the beginning of the movie when it's flashing back to him. By the way, the movie starts with like terrible exposition. Like it's making you realize that the producers, which were 13 of them for this movie, by the way, the 13 people who had to get behind a room and be like, let's make this happen. They don't respect you as an audience. No. If they're minute one, they're like, you must be wondering why I'm on top of the Sphinx right now. It's like, yeah, man, like I guess we are. The movie opens up on it. It's like you don't even give us a second to wonder. You're just parroting.
Just Hayden Christensen's on a Sphinx, and he's like, I used to be a chump just like you, and I'm like, You're a chump. Screw you.
You were in the bad Star Wars. Don't ever forget that, dude. Like,
you're the chump. And you're in this movie. What happened to your career after this? Nothing.
Not a fucking iota. You don't mean that apology.
I kind of do. I feel bad for anyone who's in a Star Wars movie. Their life is hard. Yeah. Well, not really, but like
the internet makes it hard.
Yes, that's what I mean.
Yeah, no. And you need the internet, so realistically, it's
the money makes it easier, but like. The fact that people are bullying you and telling you to kill yourself and like awful things that people like.
Yeah, it's hard for Hayden.
I'm telling you, man, I want that TV show on Disney Plus where it's just all the people from Star Wars movies that like had to deal with bullshit forever, just knocking on the doors of people that say mean things.
Fucking them up,
beating the crap out of them. So I want like Ahmad Best and Hayden Christensen just like beating up nerds from like 20 years ago for being mean to them about Phantom Menace. And Jake Lloyd can get on it too.
Guess what? 90 Day Fiancé is a real show. I would watch the show you're talking about, and like they're both bad. I'm not saying like one's morally better than the other, but I'm down for it. But yeah, no. So like the movie, just for the majority of it, it just panders to you. It does not care to set up the plot organically. It's just like exposition dump, over and over and over again.
And I even kind of, one thing I was thinking about earlier was like, I mean, it wouldn't make the movie better, but like if you didn't have it start out with him on the Sphinx as an adult, because then they jump to him being 15, it's a different actor. It's like some other young kid, and then like even like his love interest is a different actress because you see her again later in the movie, and it's just like, why not just start here? Like, why do I need to see like? I bet you're wondering why on top of the Sphinx. Well, I'll tell you. It's like, why don't you just? Because it starts pretty quick. Like him figuring out his powers is like
3 or 5 minutes.
So it's like you didn't need to do that. And if anything, it would make it more mysterious. Where you're like, wait, did he just teleport?
Like what happened?
But because the first scene is, hey, I can do amazing stuff. You want to know what I can do? It's like, I mean, I guess.
Just you wait.
I bought a ticket to see the movie, so I assumed you'd eventually tell me. I don't know, we got to do it right now, but all right.
It's like, wait, they might leave the theater if we don't tell them right away. Like,
they need to see Hayden Christensen on a Sphinx.
If they leave too early, they can get their money back. That's the rule we put in arbitrarily, and they'll follow it. And so, like, you flash back after 3. There's already a flashback with 2 minutes in the movie. It's a flashback to him being an awkward 15, I think 16-year-old teenager. He's 15. Yeah. Okay, it's a teenager. They're on a school trip, or they're. I don't know.
It's just
where are they?
No, he's just at school, and he's just like looking.
That lake was right by their school.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So he like just has like a snow globe, and he's just like, I'm gonna give this to the girl I got a crush on. And it's just like, hey Millie, I got you this snow globe, and all her girlfriends just like, who's that? You're talking to David Rice? Are you serious?
What was even more nerdy was I remember the detail where he's like, yeah, I was at a yard sale up in like wherever I think they're up in Maine, or I was in Ann Arbor with my mom, and at this nice yard sale, and I was like, oh my god, like this is so sweet, because if I was a girl, I'd be like, oh, a yard sale? You didn't pay full price for this?
Well, you can tell she's into it though. She's like, oh, how sweet!
It's a thoughtful gift. It's thoughtful.
Also, it's what you like, because it's like you always wanted to go to the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
We go to so many landmarks in this movie. I forget which one. Like
there's like 18.
We go to like the pyramids, the Colosseum,
Tokyo, I believe.
Yeah, I think we're in Tokyo for a little bit. We're in
There's
London. He's hanging out on top of Big Ben in the opening.
Yeah, that is true.
He's just like, yep, chilling on Big Ben.
I think they go like Chechnya at one point, as well. And
let's save that to when we get later in, because like the part where they're in Chechnya is really messed up. If you remember correctly,
I remember.
We'll wait till we get there.
Yeah.
That's a while into the movie.
Fair.
We're still at awkward teen David, which for how awkward adult David and adult Millie are, I honestly think that this movie would have made more sense if they just kept them 15. Because their interactions would have made more sense, like how awkward they are.
I would have cared more. The chemistry being terrible would have made a lot more sense if they're like, well, they're 16 or 17. They don't know shit about relationships. Yeah. Whereas he's fully formed. I mean, 23. So like you can say, I mean, they're adults. Like you've had to have had at least like a couple of relationships at that point, like on average. Yeah. But the way
he's jumping across the world, banging different ladies. Like, you see him. He gets with that one British chick, right?
Yeah, they were.
And then he's like, teleport. I'm going to Hawaii now.
Yeah, and the British goes, are you from London?
Oi.
Oh,
God, if we have any listeners across the pond.
Yeah, no.
I'm not that sorry.
Yeah, no, I have no respect.
You have a lot of things to make fun of.
I have no respect for accents. And so the bully, as he's trying to like spit game to this girl, this bully is like, "What's rice bowl?" What I said earlier. Rice bowl? Yeah, rice bowl. He's like, "Oh, rice? You talking to rice bowl, Millie? What's going on? What's up? Takes a snow globe, does this bully shit, shakes it. It's like, you can hear the Eiffel Tower clinking around, and he throws.
Stop it, man!
Yeah,
I like it.
It's like,
give it back. And then, so I would have said this before you get to that part.
What?
She's like, give it back, and then he gives it back to David.
Yeah,
give it to Millie. It's for her.
I remember that. Like, why are you going? Like, dude, if you go to there, he's just gonna. What he does, he throws it as he's about to hand it to David.
Yeah,
throws it on the frozen lake. And then he's like, huh? Sorry, dude. And then
I'm a douchey bully.
What was wrong with that? I was having a good time. And then he's like, you know what? This is the day that David Rice stands up for himself. And
a man's gotta be a man.
And decides to fucking shuck his way onto the ice, and
everyone around him's just like, this is a terrible decision.
Really
don't
bad,
do this. Even
really
Millie's
bad.
like, it was the thought. The thought counted. You don't have to do this. I like the snow globe.
I'll go out with you. I'll go out with you. Whatever you need to not die in front of me, I'll take it, please.
We can make out. Yeah, we're 15. Yeah, we can make out.
It's not creepy to say that.
When they're 23, then we can say creepy things.
Yes, we can.
They're 15 now. We can't. No, Damon, you stop that.
Damn.
Stop that. Hey, they're 15. Yeah. You're sick.
All right.
When they're 23, it's fine.
All right. I'll remember. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no. So the thing that you know that's going to happen happens. Yeah. He falls through, and I think you were talking about different segments we could have for the show. I think we should have whitest and blackest ways to die, and I have a case for one of the whitest ways to die is
walking on a frozen lake. That's a pretty white way to die.
Am I right in saying that? So I realized that, and I'm like, this has to be.
I wouldn't say it's not a white way to die. It's just a very not black way to die.
Fair.
That would probably be the more accurate way to put it.
That's true, because like I would say it's like, and you know, because my mom doesn't even know how to swim, like still, so we don't fuck with. Yeah, a lot of black people don't fuck with water. Like a lot of black people are like not like keen on swimming. So I guess bodies of water are it's much more likely that if there is a frozen body of water and something breaks through, the chances are it will probably be a white person before anything else, or someone that is not black.
I'm just surprised your mom doesn't know how to swim.
Yeah, no, and I have like I'm trying to think anyone else in my family doesn't know how to swim, but that's the one that comes to mind like right away. I think like one of her good friends doesn't know how to swim either. Like it's just like a thing. If you didn't go to the beach that much, you didn't go to the pool. Like why would you? Yeah. You live in the city. Why would you? No. Why would you need to? Why would you need to know? Or you can just tread. You can put your feet in the water. So my mom was like, well, my feet are wet. Okay, fuck the ocean. And my mom's like kind of right because like fuck the ocean. It's a terrifying mistress.
So we're 3 minutes into the movie, by the way, because I timed it, and that's when I was just like, how did this movie take one book and 3 screenwriters to make this movie? But that's when the movie goes, blam! He thought he was drowning. Now he's in the library. How did he get here? And also the narrator goes, I'm in the library. How did I get here? Yeah. Well, you know, you're watching the movie. You can see books everywhere. You can even see the little poster. It's like, reading is fun.
Ann Arbor Library. Like, there's
was there really?
There was a bunch of shit where it was like, this is a library. And what's even like you say, it's like, I teleport to the library.
Did I teleport to the library?
What's teleportation?
You might say I jumped there.
Whoa!
So,
go home.
He's freaked out, so he has to go home to, because, this is, child, life sucks, superhero, not really superhero movie, Mom left. And also the narrator just says, Mom left when I was a kid.
Dad's here, but he's not here. And
because he's an alcoholic.
It's a piece of shit. The house is you're picturing the house before we even tell you. It's it's sad. It's just sad bachelor house.
Just imagine, like, Peter Parker's house in the first Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire, but, like, put alcohol everywhere and make it really sad. So, actually, no. So, make it Mary Jane's house in the first Spider-Man movie.
Actually, that's...
Oh, God.
Oh, my God. Oh, yeah, Mary Jane's dad's Michael Rooker. So we
see, now I'm just thinking about that movie. He's like, "You're nothing. You leave just like her. I need to go to school." He's like, "Bah."
And that's kind of what he's like. That's what Michael Rooker's doing. It's
another cliche. You're late.
From where? Like, it's still light out too. Like, what time does he have to be home?
You're soaking wet in winter, so I'm angry. Not concerned as a father because you shouldn't be soaking wet in the winter time.
I'm concerned that you might be being bullied, but whatever. I'm drinking. So fuck it. And so he goes upstairs to escape, his dad yelling at him.
Puts
the
shittiest little
lock.
chain lock that we all have over our bedroom doors. Because, you have one of the chain locks in your bedroom, not the little doorknob. The parent gave you the ability to have the chain on there.
I feel like the dad gave him the ability to have the chain just so he can break the door down. Because it's a very flimsy chain. Like, I think that's more of a fuck you. Oh, yeah, you can have a lock. And then... Don't lock it's my fucking house. Don't, bam, don't kick.
That chain has more character growth in this movie than any of the characters does.
I know. He comes
we'll get
back.
We'll get to that later.
Yeah, son, I remember that.
So that's when David decides, like, screw this, I'm running away from home. So then he jumps, and then he jumps back to the library?
No, the reason why he jumps is because he locks the door. He locks the door, and his dad's like, open this door, David, open this door. And then he busts it down. He's, like, freaking out. And then so he teleports back to the library again because... he freaked out, and that was the first. That's the only thing. That's the thing he can visualize in his head the best. So
nerd.
I know, right?
I feel safe with my books.
And then I wrote that I noticed that on the signs that the librarians had made, like, they had said like damage, whatever. But my thing was, I wish they had said like, we will find who did it.
I remember that. It's like wet books caution.
Yeah, it's like we're out for blood now.
There was a first edition in this row.
Oh, I'd be pissed. I'd be fucking furious.
So then, he teleports back home, and that's when the cops are there. Because, I mean, it seems legitimate as a father. You think your son ran away? You should call the police and be like, my son ran away. I'm worried. Last time I saw him, he was soaking wet, and it's wintertime, and we live in, like, Maine.
I have no clue how he got past me on the second floor to get to
Jumped out a window.
To escape. The worst he could be. He could be. Legs be broken. Like I have no clue. I don't know what's going on. Find my son.
Still soaking wet.
Like officer.
Wait, there's snow on the ground.
Officer, I'm so drunk. I need you to find my son so I can enjoy the game, please.
Damn it, Mr. Rice. Didn't your wife run away too? Stop reminding me.
Yo, this is a small town. They always say some shit like that. It's like, dude, you're drinking again. No wonder he left you,
dude. Like I said before, before the podcast, I was like, the most sympathetic character in this movie is the abusive alcoholic father. His wife leaves him for he has no reason why. I mean, we find out later why she left him, but like, so this man's wife left him, no reason why. And then, because, David's like, screw this, I don't need this. He even says the line, if she can run away, I can run away too. So then David decides he's going to run away to, I think he goes to New York, because of course, that's where you go. So you can make it there.
Empire State Building.
You can make it there.
Because his parents had taken a trip there, so he had a picture. So he was like, I'm just going to look at the picture, and then I'll be in New York.
And that's when we get a flashback within a flashback, because then he remembers being a little kid with his mom on the Empire State Building, and it's like, wait, we're already in a flashback. This flashback just flashed back.
Yeah.
It's nauseating.
This power, I wrote down like the actual quote where he says like, this power, I realized it could set me free. And I'm just waiting for him like to fucking look and wink at the camera, being like, you get it, guys, you get it, and it never happens. So I'm just left there being fucking frustrated.
Yeah,
it's the worst type of edging.
So now that he's set free, because he's his life was so hard, which I mean it wasn't great, but like. I don't know. Your relationship with your dad, you guys could have mended that. For how alcoholic he was in this part of the story, because you see the dad later in the story, and he's way more alcoholic, because of course you would be. Like, yeah, everyone you love has left you.
Yeah.
So, like, I feel like they could have mended it. Like, the dad was trying his best, and his best just wasn't enough.
Yeah, like, because he was just grieving the loss of his wife. And
yeah, how long ago did she leave?
Like 11 years ago, I think. Maybe 12.
All right. I mean, I guess maybe dad wasn't doing his best.
Yeah, I know. It wasn't like...
I forgot how long she had been gone.
Because he was like, oh, mom left me when I was like 5 or 6. Like, it's been enough time where he needs to get over it. Like, I have a soft spot for Michael Rooker, so I'm just like, I want good things for him.
Yeah.
Regardless of him being a piece of shit. I like him as a person.
Yondu! In case anyone doesn't know Michael Rooker is, he's most famous for being Yondu.
Apparently, he is a joy at Comic Cons. One year when I went to WizardCon in Philly, one of the security guys, it was a woman. She was like, "I run this thing every year, Michael. He's a delight. And someone overheard her. Someone Michael Rooker, and so it made me even believe it more. Because it'd be one thing if a woman was saying like my experience, but another person working at the con was like, "Oh, we have Rooker stories.
You don't talk about Michael Rooker today?
everyone, gather! We're telling our best rooks."
It's just funny how he always plays pieces of shits and
he's good
and everything, but
which
makes sense.
Of course,
that's usually how it goes.
He must love being like, "Yeah, I'll be bad because I'm so good."
Yeah,
I donate.
I get to kill zombies in this one. Sweets.
I got a 6 stump hand.
Ooh,
fuck yeah.
So so David has the line of like, "All right, I need to get some money," and he says the line of, I was 15. What would you do? Because he decides immediately, I'm gonna rob like the biggest bank in New York City. Where it's like, I'm sorry. I'm 15.
Start slow.
I am not robbing the biggest bank.
Start slow.
And also, if I'm doing it, because he does do it, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm wearing a ski mask.
Anything.
I mean,
beyond.
So it's...
If you can get a crowbar and a flashlight, you can get, like...
A ski mask.
Just anything to cover your face.
And again, you're set free, David. Ski mask. Go get one. Go get it.
Rob it. Rob the ski
mask. Rob the ski mask in, like, California, and then that way, when you're in New York, I mean, come on.
You can go wherever you want, bud. Yeah, no, it's all right. It's all right. And also, it hasn't even been, like, 12 minutes yet.
Yeah.
Like,
it
just go.
I don't get how he doesn't teleport into a wall.
That's what always bothered me about teleportation, and, like, I think Nightcrawler has to worry about space because he can go in between walls.
The Nightcrawler establishes the rules very easily, where it's like, I need to see where I'm going.
Perfect.
That's okay.
Great.
Easy. That's the rule. He needs to see it, so he can't just go wherever he wants. So David can just go wherever the hell he wants. As long as he's seen a picture of it or can visualize it in his mind, he can go there.
Yeah, which is the kind of spies. I was like, okay, so if we showed him, could we, like, if we pictured, gave him like a picture of space and say, all right, here's like this like thing. Can you just go? Can you go?
We'll get into that later.
Like, is this a thing that can happen?
We'll get into that later.
Like, it's just the rules are just so weird.
Yeah. So then, of course, after he robs the bank, you know,
he's
bank
fucking
shut
his
down.
pimp, and like there's like the American dream of just like, how you get rich? Let's just rob a fucking bank. Let's do it right now. How you get away? I would just teleport away. Like, I don't know, dude. I would just get out of there.
I saw the inside of the vault. That's all I need.
Yeah. Fuck the combo. I don't need that.
Yeah, and that's when like the cops are all around me and like, yeah, someone broke in and we don't know who it was because they didn't even get in the safe and their timer was on it and blah, blah, blah. And then Sam Jackson's like, NSA, Sam Jackson, you see my white hair? It's not stupid. Shut up.
He's doing like his best like Cisco impersonation. Like that's like that's the layer of white I think back to, and it's just like a black man should not have like that contrast on it unless it's his natural. But even then, it's like I've never seen a dude, an older black dude's head. That fucking like luminescent.
It's for like how
only
old,
word.
How old would I wish Sam Jackson's. How old is Sam Jackson?
In his. Well, I feel bad not knowing this.
60s now.
I don't know. I would think six. I don't want to say 70s. That seems too old.
I mean, black don't crack.
That's true. Thank God. I'll always have that going for me. I mean, yeah, he shows up. He's a fucking strong-arming his way for more information. He's like, I want everything you have on it. Like, give me the tapes. Like, everyone that's come. I need to see everyone that's visited the bank in the past couple of months, regardless of, you know, how little you think of it.
Which, again, something I want to point out is that this is cheating narration because we're supposed to be inside David's memory right now. And how does he know this is happening? Because he shouldn't know this is happening because it's cheating the narrative. And I hate that when I see that in movies and stuff.
Yeah, no, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I just assumed that they had just done a shitty job of transitioning the scene to just Sam Jackson knowing it. But you're right. It never cuts. It's just the flashback.
Because we're still in the flashback at this point. And then they do like another flashback of him like, you know, like throwing the money in the air and being like, woo, because that's what Sam Jackson's like, whoever did this is like a mastermind. And then we cut away to a 15-year-old kid being like, oh my God, all this money.
Yeah. And then I think, and that's when
the time
happens.
skips to Hayden Christensen's like, my life is so great. How am I not fat? When I teleport, you should be too fat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he's like around. You see him like in his like, you know, he's a swanky ass apartment, and you know he's got stacks of. He has his money just to, like. It's not even like in a safe. It's just like he's kind of like he's displaying it like shoes.
Yeah, he's like a walk-in closet where it's just like stacks of money everywhere. We're like, come on,
just do better to.
What if someone just breaks in your house without for no reason at all?
At any point, I mean, I know you're in like an apartment building, but it's just a building. It's not impregnable. Yeah. Just make this like less conspicuous, so you're not such a big fucking target. It just the movie. I feel like we're gonna talk about this the whole podcast. Is like you don't like this dude. Like his whole persona is just like. Just a douche, like just a piece of shit. And every time he talks, I said that he's delivering his lines like he's holding in a sneeze. he's just like going because he's going down to the building. He's going downstairs to the main lobby, and he's talking to the security guard. And he's like, "Oh, nice seeing you, Mr. Rice." He's like, "Hello, mine." And then it's like that was the best take. That was the only.
It's good to see you, Mr. Dorman.
Basically, he was like, "Oh, don't mention it." It was supposed to be like a comic, like everyday interaction type thing.
Not supposed to rain today, Mr. Rice. I don't know. I like to have it just in case. Maybe I'm teleporting to London.
Yes, like one of those. But it was just so. Everyone's wood. Everyone's a wooden piece of shit in this movie.
I mean, Sam Jackson is Sam Jackson it up, but like you kind of expect that from Sam Jackson. And then Michael Rooker is like. I mean, he's just being a cliche.
But also, Michael Rooker's not in it enough to even enjoy him being...
He only has, like, 3 scenes.
Yeah, so even if he was being, like, the best alcoholic down with a hard gold he possibly can, you get, like, 5 minutes of him, if that.
Yeah, most of the movie is Hayden Christensen,
Sam Jackson,
and Millie. And then you get a little bit of Griffin.
Oh, my God. Jamie Bell. I was looking at some of the reviews, and like the main takeaway that most people said was like Jamie Bell was nice. I like how I like Griffin's character because
his character was kind of having fun. Like he was kind of doing stuff and being like whatever. I mean, he was being like didn't want any part of it, but like he was being like fun and snappy about it.
He had a character.
He had a personality.
There was something to latch onto when he eventually gets to that point.
His character was very inconsistent, but we'll get to that. Yeah. But other than that, and also like. So then so now we're caught up to when we were at the very beginning of David's like, now I'm here, now I'm there.
Now you know how I can teleport. I was like, I do this and that. We're great.
And then we cut away to Sam Jackson being like, we got a lead on the bank heist guy, which it's like you've been hunting this dude for 8 years and you still haven't caught him, and like he's doing all this teleporting willy nilly, you still haven't caught him yet.
Yeah,
that's insane.
When you guys like when you're like your sole focus has been him.
Yeah.
Like you don't have anything else going on really. It's just you're trying to find
more jumpers. And then this is when he has the one jumper in like a jungle somewhere.
Let me see, because like
I assumed he was somewhere like in like South America or something.
Yeah. I do remember that.
And that's when we kind of learned that they have these weird weapons that to me they look like Ben Affleck Daredevil. His batons? His batons?
Yeah, they do.
That's their weapons, except for they're electrified.
They're very batony.
So we learned that like jumpers can't jump if they're being electrocuted, which
for reasons.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever. And like they have to be.
I mean, I couldn't do much if I was electrocuted either.
Yeah, so they're like cables. Yeah, because you would think, what if they teleport away from the cables, but apparently the electric current like dispels like their current. Yeah, their jumping power.
The movie's just kind of like if they get electrocuted, they can their jumping gets wonky.
Yeah, and Samuel Jackson's like specific. He's like 1,000 volts. So like I don't know why that's the magic voltage. And
so he goes up to the young man in wherever they are. They're like South America, I think, is somewhere like that. And the guy's just like, "Why, man? Like
I didn't do anything.
I didn't do anything. I'm just minding my business." And Sam Jackson's like dramatically like unclothing like a knife. And like this knife is just like whatever. You expect it to be like some ancient dagger, and it's not. It's just like here's my knife. It's like
it looks like it has just like a sawtooth blade, like very. Yeah. It's not even like a cool like stabbing knife. This is a knife that you gut some. This is a knife that like you're just doing it to kill them painfully. Like that's all it's for. It's no ceremonial purpose to it.
But but the way he unsheathes it's very ceremonial.
There's like linens and shit. Like there's multiple layers to the knife reveal. And you're like, is it gonna be shiny? Like, what's the point?
And that's when Sam Jackson lets out his line that he says to every jumper when he kills them, or at least I kind of assume he does it. Where he says, "Only God should have the power to be everywhere at once." Which, no, they're not everywhere at once. Sam Jackson, they're teleporting. You know that. You've been hunting them for years, presumably. They're not everywhere at once. I feel like that line was a placeholder line because they were like, "We got to think of a baddest line for him to say before he kills people." Well, how about this? Well, that'll be good for now. And then when they were done the final cut, they're just kind of like, some producer was like, "I like that. That's a cool line." They're like, "Yep. It's a cool line. Yeah, sure. Leaving it in."
Yeah, because you have 10% of this movie, so I guess we have to say yes to you. But yeah, no, and he just he stabs in his chest and then just kind of like moves it, like moves the knife while it's in him, and I'm like, this was a PG-13 movie, so it was like a lot of blood, but that one I was like, God damn, that's a brutal way to just kill someone.
Well, he's like being electrocuted and he's like tied up in a tree and he's like covered in sweat and he's like,
Please,
yes,
Jesus Christ! I just wanted to be a cool teleporter. Adios mio.
I was just trying to reach the mangoes on the top of the tree.
Yeah, and then Samuel Jackson, after he's brutally murdering this man, he's like, cut him down, and then he just like walks away so casual about it.
And that's when he gets called. It's like, we found the bank kid. They're like, good. And then next scene, David goes home, and then he's in David's house in New York. Can you jump to Samuel L. Jackson?
Yeah, because there's no real trend. It's just like the scene opens where he's opening the door, and then
Sam Jackson's
his back is to him, and he's like, "Hey, how's it going?" He might be wondering, like, how we found you. It just goes in the whole like diatribe, and David's like, are you a cop? Like, what's going on?
Which,
like,
idiot. Why in your apartment already? That's where you just go like, get out. Who are you? And also, that's where you just, I don't know, man. Like, if
you don't act the way you acted.
Yeah, like, come on. Someone just broke into your house.
There are multiple things where he did wrong. Where just because Samuel Jackson's being casual, like David's trying to like match the energy of it. And it's like, no. Like,
they're both so calm. It's like, guys, you're not in the prequels anymore. You can emote. No? Okay.
Cool.
All right.
Maybe that's why everyone's wooden. Like, it was like a big like event where Samuel Jackson, Hayden Christensen had like this the singularity happened. They met, and like everyone on the set was like, "I've lost my acting ability." It's like when we're on the same set, it happens. But don't worry, we'll all be bad in this movie.
A Sith Lord
and a Jedi Master working together or against each other again. Really? Oh yeah. Actually.
So they have a weird fight, and then I love in the fight because like
you're a jumper. You're a damn jumper. Like is that the first time that like Samuel Jackson even was the first time we even hear the word like jumper?
I think so. Yeah.
Like because he says it like I several times like back to back just to beat over your head like this is what he is. This is how he's been doing it.
We don't take kindly to jumpers around here.
He's like electrocuting him with his little like little paladin baton. Just
So then like David's apartment has like a second story to it. And at one point, David teleports from the second story to the first story onto the couch, and Sam Jackson jumps from the second story onto the couch, and it's just like, you are an older man. How are you doing this right now?
He's spry.
Also, I mean, I don't know how old you're supposed to be, but your stark white hair tells me you're supposed to be an older man.
Maybe it's dyed.
Well, it looked the same 8 years earlier when he's hunting 15-year-old David.
I mean, Samuel Jackson, Roland likes his looks, man. Like he's very particular about his paladin garb when he's out murdering people with powers.
God. I laughed so hard when they said his name was Roland.
I know.
Roland? His name's Roland?
I know. I always get sad when I hear about Roland in media because I get sad about the Dark Tower movie.
Yep.
And that's all I think about.
We'll eventually talk about that too. Yep, because that's one of them.
God damn it.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Maybe we'll make a show out of it.
I don't want to be sad.
Yeah, well.
This
is a sad episode, Dave. We're talking about Jumper 2008.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
This is a Siren Lethal Weapon episode.
A movie that I actually like, but a topic that is not fun.
Yeah, brutal.
Yeah.
But yeah, so does he escapes back eventually, like he manages to jump back home.
He like jumps into like through the apartment and like steals enough money, and then he decides like, I'm just going to jump back home. And he jumps back home, and Sam Jackson's just kind of like trying to figure out where he is, and he finds the picture of young Bridge of Terabithia Millie, and it's just kind of like, find out who this girl is. And he goes back to his hometown where he's been missing, presumed dead for 8 years. Just thinks he can stroll in and just be like, hey, Millie's old house. Is Millie here? Oh my God, David! You've been dead for 8 years! Which again, like, I don't even know how you recognize him. Like, I mean, I guess I can see, like, logically recognize him, but, like, last time you saw him, he's a different actor. I don't know.
Yeah, no, and also like on top of that, like he goes back he goes to like his dad's house, and then he tries to.
That's right.
And then
because he has in like the walls, he has money hidden.
Yeah,
in there.
he's a fuck ton of money.
And that's when we get the growth for the chain.
Yes.
The chain is now on the outside of the door.
And
why would you chain the outside of a bedroom door? Ever. It doesn't make any sense.
It's like, are you just waiting for someone to come in and you don't want to be able to see them? Like,
yeah.
This obviously they did it for the narrative purpose of the movie, but logically it makes no sense.
It was one of the only cool shots where it's like you see him pushing against the wall and they're talking, being like, I know you don't want to talk to me, but like I love you and I miss you and I'm so sorry for everything I've ever done ever. Like, please, David, like I've only gotten worse. I need you. Am I going crazy? Like, am I not hearing you? And he's like, you're not crazy, and then jumps away. Where he can still be crazy.
Yeah, he never saw him. So it's like all you've done is you made this man be like, oh, I'm schizophrenic now.
Yeah.
It's getting even worse. The only thing I thought about was if there was like money left behind, that'd be the only saving grace. Where it's just like, oh God, he had put money in the walls. Like that motherfucker. I've been struggling to pay this house off for 20 plus years.
He did put money in the walls. That's what you see him do. And you see him pulling the wall out, and there's money.
Can you imagine like you watch your son teleport away with like big barrels of money? You watch the wall, and you're like, motherfucker. Like it's all busted up, and it's like, God, son of a bitch.
I've worked 3 jobs just to support myself.
Yeah, but he goes to like the bar, gets into like he goes to the house, then goes to the bar where
he finds out that's where his Millie, her childhood crush, works.
Bomb bitch is working there.
Now played by Rachel Bilson of OC fame.
Whatever though.
Yeah, Damon doesn't know what the OC is, and I think that's kind of funny.
I'm aware of it as like as a cultural milestone. Like I know that was
a milestone.
Was it a big deal for like a bunch of people?
Yeah.
And, like was it one of the shows people like live or die, like?
It was like the One Tree Hill on Fox.
One Tree Hill on Fox.
Yeah.
Enough people would still like. If I feel like if there's enough people get a tattoo about it, it was a thing.
I'm trying to think who you would know from that show. The bad boy on the show was Commissioner Gordon on the Gotham TV show.
Ooh, he was the bad boy.
Yeah,
he's got
bad
good.
boy.
He's got
no one understands him.
He's got the jawline for it.
Yeah.
what you call it? But yeah, he finds the bully's still there too in the hometown,
and he's
drunk.
He sucks.
Yeah, and I don't think he deserved what happened to him.
No,
though.
not at
Like
all.
he
Not
just
at all.
because they got into a fight because he's pawing.
So I think you jump back a little bit. So he's in the bar looking for Millie, the childhood crush.
Oh yeah,
which
yeah.
I don't get. If you're basically a god, you're still hung up on this girl you talked to in high school. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Dude, get over it. You
he's
were just banging British ladies in London a day ago.
Because he's an abuser. That's why he's obsessed with her.
Yeah, he really is obsessed with her.
Yeah, like the reasoning. You're right. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. You're on the run.
Doesn't make logical sense.
And this is when you try to reach out when your life's in danger. Like
Yeah.
just even thinking about it now, it's like you would endanger this person. You're not thinking about this person. You're thinking about what they're gonna make you feel like, and that's dark.
Yeah, you're selfish.
Yeah, the whole.
This is like the one time where it's like I had to leave you to protect you, where it logically makes sense because you're on the run because there's paladins. There's paladins chasing you.
There's so many angry.
Not
paladins.
mages, paladins.
Boo.
Mages he could handle, but paladins? No, I don't think so.
Oh, dude, they have weapons and magic. Like it's fucking.
They got
brutal.
electric daredevil whip sticks.
Yeah, no. So and he kind of stalks her at the bar for about
Yeah.
almost an hour. He's kind of just sitting there
He
staring
just
at her.
stares at her for 45 minutes. And that's when he's like, all right, you saw her, let's leave. And the bully recognizes him immediately, where it's like the bully's shown to be drunk. This drunk bully recognizes a kid who went missing 8 years ago. Sorry, I'm going to keep going back to that well. Like, again, he's been missing for 8 years, and everyone just knows exactly what he looks like.
Oh, David Rice. Oh, yeah, it's David Rice. Like, we've all done the facial We've all done, like, the facial software, like, game at home to see what David Rice looks like in his spare time, right? Cool.
We have that in 2008.
Small towns, right? Who would have fucking thunk? I don't know, but you are right. Like it's miraculous. That, like it's a random dude. He's got a backpack on. Like he looks like a fucking drifter, and they're like, "You're the guy."
So then this douchey douche, the bully, Hayden Christensen is a douchey douche in this movie too. Well, not Hayden Christensen. David Rice.
Yeah.
I don't know. He could be a lovely man in real life. But so that's when Millie comes up and is like, David, is that you? He's like, oh, sorry, I didn't recognize you. And it's like, oh, well, you're staring at me. And it's like, oh. And then the bully just decides to slap her on the ass, and David just punches him in the face.
Yeah, like go not because I would have gone for the push. I would have been like, what the fuck is wrong
Leave her
with
alone.
you? Like, what the hell's wrong with you? So I don't get an assault charge right away.
Yeah.
Like I want to at least pretend I'm not fighting immediately, but he's
like the bully's in the wrong, but you just you took it to another level.
Yeah,
man.
like now the police gotta get fucking out of this bar. People are gonna lose their fucking buzz. You've ruined the atmosphere because also too, it's like this woman's probably used to this piece of shit.
Yeah,
you probably gotten kicked out.
She's
anyway.
the bartender. She probably could handle it herself.
Yeah,
she's probably like, why'd you punch him? I was about to punch him.
Yeah, like they were taking the punch, you asshole.
I had that.
She's like, you just turn around, she has some brass knuckles. She's like, what the fuck, dude?
I had to move. I had it ready. Right hand for the belt loop, left hand for the punch, and then toss out the door. David, I've been doing this for a while now.
It's Thirsty Thursday. Like it never. You left. These people never left.
I am a strong, independent woman who don't need no man. Good day.
But yeah, no. So
just kidding. She's not. She's not at all. She's not at all.
Exact opposite. She's doormat supreme, guys. Like there's no backbone in this lady.
So
she's like every single female, romantic interest from 2000 back to like the 40s. Like she's
nothing. The blandest nothing.
It's so bad.
She's the girl next door, but nothing. So Damon, let me ask you a question. So let's just say like this person you had a huge crush on in high school, and you haven't seen them in 8 years, presumed dead. They just show up on your doorstep, and you always had the hots for them, but again, that you haven't seen them in 8 years, and they say, hey, would you like to go on a trip with me to Rome? What do you say in that situation, Damon? I'm just wondering. Like, if it's someone you liked, but again, you haven't seen them in 8 years, you don't know anything about them, they're missing, presumed dead, and they come up to you and say, would you want to go to Rome with me? What do you say?
Can I ask a question before I answer?
Shoot.
I answer.
Go.
Are they still hot?
They are still hot.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long are we staying in Rome for?
I don't know.
Oh, well, no.
I mean, you don't know this, but this person could easily abandon you there at a moment's notice if they wanted to.
Yeah, because they're paying. Because they're. I don't know that. Yeah, no, the bit's done. That's insane. That's an insane thing to do.
She goes to Rome with him,
especially if it's a man, it's a stranger coming up to just like you hear about abduction story. This abduction happens I don't want to say all the time, but people get trafficked a lot.
Did Taken come out yet? Was Taken out yet? I don't know.
Taken came out in 2007 or 2008. It's in that.
Well, regardless,
timeline.
have some freaking intuition, lady.
I feel like common sense. It's like you can give people the benefit of the doubt as much as you want, but once again, trafficking is real.
What if it wasn't even David? What if he's like, yeah, I'm David?
Oh,
what if it was just some guy?
Yeah, because really, the only person that recognized it was the drunk asshole that sexually harassed you.
She did say, like, my mom called me earlier and said you were in the area.
Oh, that's right.
When he
that's
stopped
right.
at her house. But still, you hadn't tricked your mom.
Oh, that reminds me too. What I was talking about earlier about the guy didn't deserve it. The punch was unwarranted. What I was talking about was how he teleports him to the fucking bank vault and leaves it. He gets to a fight. They kind of tumble out of the bar.
Yeah, it's a sloppy bar fight.
Yeah, exactly. And he gets he teleports them to the initial bank vault that he had robbed back in was it back in New York?
Yeah. And they're in Maine. Soon,
Ann Arbor, it's in Michigan.
God, that's even further.
Yeah, so it's so. I'm terrible at geography.
This isn't a geography podcast.
Yeah,
don't judge us.
We're American. we're supposed to be bad at geography. That's our calling card.
Regardless.
But you get into a fight with a man and you just abduct him. Take him, and then later on in the movie, he got arrested for being in that vault. Yep. I don't think you're the hero. I don't think that was enough. Like I said, he did put his hands on that girl. He was being like an aggressive drunk.
But also he was drunk.
He also was drunk. And also, guess what? He's the town drunk. You don't teleport the town drunk. That's what the town drunk does. He's a stupid piece of shit at the bar every day. He's the entertainment.
This altercation didn't need to happen.
It didn't. So that's another check mark against why he's not really that wasn't a heroic thing to do. The heroic thing, you could argue, would be the punch and maybe even lose the fight. Even that, I thought that's what the team was going to do. I thought he was going to get into a fight and then lose it and be like, "Oh man, I'm sorry, I did my best." Blah blah blah. But no.
Wounded warrior, babe.
Yeah. I sent for you so hard, babe. You see how I fought for you?
Look at these scars I got because I was defending you, babe.
Yeah, but no, he's like,
again, I could have defended myself.
Yeah.
It was fine.
Thanks for assuming.
I had it. He was drunk. I was sober. I could have tripped him. It would have been fine.
Yeah.
That's my Rachel Bilson.
I feel like it's gonna be your every character. That's gonna be
every woman's voice.
Every woman's voice.
My voice is very deep. That's every woman's voice for me.
for the foreseeable
Unless
future.
I'm doing an accent, then it's a little bit better, but also possibly a little more offensive. So we'll just see where the future takes us.
Yeah, no, it's only episode 4.
Yeah. Maybe you'll hear my spot on Rosie Perez impersonation. Maybe you won't.
One day.
When we do White Man Can't Jump, maybe.
One day more. But yeah, no, so Millie is a terrible character.
Yep.
Big dum-dum. Yeah, big old dum-dum goes to Rome, and then the movie even like doubles down on this whole notion of like being rewarded for giving a woman something, because like they get there and I think they land and then they fuck like within like it's
the most awkward hookup I've ever seen. Do you remember how it goes down?
I don't remember the fucking specifics.
She's literally just trying to hang a hanger on something and she can't quite reach it, and she's just kind of like, I can't reach it. Oh my god, I'm so stupid. And then Hager's just like, hey, let me help you. And then like he helps her do it, and then they just start making out, and then the fray starts playing the what is it, the baby, I look after you.
Oh my god.
And then they just bang awkwardly, like the movies, movie sex where you just fall off the bed even though you're not fully clothed and you giggle because you can't get your shirt off. The sex we've all had where you're just that awkwardly doing it. Yeah, that's sex.
Yeah, no.
All they were missing was just putting weird food on top of each other.
I hate that so fucking much.
But this movie's PG-13. We don't got time for that.
Yeah, no.
Maybe in the Jumper director's cut.
Man.
People want the Snyder cut. Release the Lyman cut.
Originally I wanted a 5-minute sex scene for this. Really show the connection they had when they went to Rome and he paid for everything. But
very 9.5 weeks.
But no, like it's just she just rewards him for I guess taking her to Rome and just puts the the notion men's heads.
It just makes her look shallow too. Where
Hell
he has money.
That's what I mean. I'm saying that's what I'm talking about just now. About like it's just you get rewarded. You reward the main character for doing a nice thing for you. It's like and you fuck them. So it's that she's not a good female character. It's just like the same trope of like you're only here for the male character's needs.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yes.
That's her whole purpose in the movie, and to be used as a bargaining chip for the villains as well. Correct. So you have no agency.
To show any slight of an arc for David, because he wants to sort of save her later.
Yeah, and other than that, she has no need to be in this movie.
Make you heroic. You're just cleaning up the mess you caused.
Yeah, by inviting her on your escape plan. Like
and she doesn't know that you're on the run.
None. Like that's why he's not a good. He's not a good person. He's nice.
He's really bad.
Like that. When you to your point when you said at the very beginning of the podcast, where it's like I don't even know who the villain. I don't know.
I guess Griffin, who we haven't even talked about yet.
He actually comes up like
right now is when he's actually becomes in the thing. Griffin is played by Jamie Bell with, I think it's so bizarre. So his accent, he's a British accent and he sounds fake, but Jamie Bell's British. How does that happen?
He's like hamming up the accent. Like that's the only way to describe it because he's just over the top, loud. And then when they meet him in like the Coliseum. They're going to the Coliseum.
Yeah, so when they go to Rome, they break into the Coliseum, which again, another red flag, because like they're trying to get in the Coliseum, and the guy is like, no, we're closed today. And Hayden Christensen's like, well, she wants to see it. We
like, came all the way here, like you and everyone else, you piece of shit.
Yeah,
like,
duh.
Stupid
so then he's like, look, this door's unlocked. Let's go. And she's like, I mean, if it's unlocked, okay.
Sure. I mean, he just said it was closed, but if you said it,
but if
you're the boss. You have the
unlocked door. Let's go. And then they go in there, and then that's when they try to break. He just keeps pushing it more. He's like, let's break in here. Because I'm set free. The rules don't apply to me. I can break in here.
He just keeps
jumper privilege.
Yeah, he just keeps like doing little jumps to open the doors when she's not like looking. So it's like, oh look, she's like, I thought the door was locked. Oh, I pushed a little harder, and now it's open. Like, that's great.
Yeah, this is where it's like you're put the blame too. Like you're breaking and entering into the Coliseum.
Yeah, no, like, that's major. If there's no tours going on, that's major jail time. If they think you're fucking up any historical like monuments or oh my god, they will. And let's say if you're an Italian citizen, they're gonna fuck you over. But you're an American tourist on like this bullshit honeymoon or wherever the fuck, they'll crucify you. So he's just playing fast and loose with his life and her life. He's not a protagonist. He is on paper. The script calls him the protagonist, but his motivation's shit.
So like he breaks in further, and that's when he's in like the actual like the center of the Coliseum where he sees Jamie Bell just peeing, and he's just kind of like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you." And it's like, you don't think it's weird that there's a man peeing in the Coliseum right now?
Yeah, when you yourself have just broken into the Coliseum.
Like he doesn't question it. He's like, "Oh, sorry, I'll just walk over this way," and like keep trying to fight. Like, you don't think it's suspicious? And that's when Jamie Bell kind of just lays it down for him, and it's like, they're coming for us because Sam Jackson said to send everyone to hunt me, and two dudes show up with their. Oh my god, it's so funny when they summon their sticks. Like they open up a briefcase and it just kind of like flies out.
Yeah, like the Harry Potter broom.
Yes, exactly. Like it's trying to be cool and it just shoots out, and again they destroy part of the Coliseum.
Yeah, like
bricks of the Coliseum getting ripped to shreds during this action scene.
And this is actually the first time that, because we've been saying paladins because we spoiled it, but this is the first time that we are told like what the fuck they're actually called. But what he was just talking about, how his accent is so bizarre in the movie. I watched this movie. I had to rewind how he said it 3 times to get it. The first time he says, I kill Wallowins. What? I kill Illowins. What? Third time. Give me one more time, baby. One more time, Jimmy Bell. Give it to me. Paladins. Oh, you said paladins. Okay. I don't care if you guys watch the movie, just find when they go to the Coliseum, just skip around, go to when Jamie Bell says it. I'm not going crazy. He sounds like he's having a fucking stroke in the middle of the line. It's not the best delivery. And there's multiple scenes in the movie where I don't believe that was the best take. If that was the best take, what the fuck was happening that day? But also, a lot of the locations, they had a limited time to film, so maybe that's part of it.
Yeah, it's a good point.
That's probably it.
That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, maybe that's why this movie may have been extra shitty.
Because they only had like a day to film on the pyramids, on the Sphinx,
at the
Coliseum.
At the Coliseum. So you're only
that makes a lot of sense.
So you're only using and I think at the Coliseum, they probably have rules where it's like you can't probably film at night. You only use it because we can't have lights on the stone because that could fuck it up. So you only use natural light for all these scenes.
That makes a lot of sense now.
Oh my god! I think this made part of the movie why this movie may have been shitty because they're
be.
like, guys, we have 3. We're gonna use one of these 3.
What time of day are we filming in the Coliseum? Sunset. Sunset! Oh my god! Why did we say sunset?
I don't know. He gave me times. I panicked. I said, "Yo, what's up? Yeah, a whole film crew. We only need 15 minutes." I hang up the phone. The producer's like, "What are you doing?
Doug, you're an established director. You can pull your weight around a little bit."
I'm just so nervous. We're going to the Coliseum, guys. The Coliseum. But yeah, no. So he kills like 2 when the Paladins come. He kills like one of them by like dropping him down.
Griffin does. Right?
Yeah, Griffin
kills him.
Griffin like teleports one. I thought it was a cool kill. He teleports him up and then like breaks his neck, lands like right on like a corner, and I'm like, oh, wow, that was really really good. Really smart way to like use your teleportation. That's because wouldn't you do that all the time? He would just pick someone up, poop him up, and then just boop.
It's like it's Hazel in X-Men First Class. That's what I'd be doing. Just boop, drop, drop.
Simple. It's like, god damn it.
If I were a teleporting mutant demon, of course.
True. With a prehensile tail, so it's so handy. I know. So yeah, so he kills like 2 of them, and that's when they talk about the jumps. That's the first time they say jump scar.
Scar.
Yeah, to like another little bit of lingo to flesh out the universe they're trying to fucking
which
make.
then makes me believe that they're teleporting by that they can create portals.
Yeah, because it's like I feel like if it's doing like scars, I'm assuming time space is involved. So you're doing like. Are you jumping through? You're jumping through time and space
later,
now?
Sam Jackson's when the Paladins jump through one of the jump scars. Damn it. What the hell's it called again?
Call it by its real name, a jump scar.
The jump scar. Yeah, and then so of course, security shows up because you just blew up a bunch of shit in the Coliseum, and he tries to run away. He's like, "Come on, man, we gotta get out of here." He's like, "What happened? You've been gone. I'm so stupid. I don't know what's going on." Like, come on, babe, we gotta get out of here. Let's go bone at the hotel.
I'm so dumb and innocent.
Whatever. So like they're running away, and the police are just like, "You gotta come with us." He's like, "I didn't even do anything."
Yeah, it's like, what's wrong? Like, you need to talk to those people over there. Like, they're more suspicious than I am. And Italian police are like, "Nope, not buying it. Get on the ground."
Yeah, do they pull a gun or is it like a taser?
He pulls a gun.
Yeah, that's what's like, "Millie, go back to the hotel. I got this." And of course, she doesn't go back to the hotel because she's stupid and doesn't listen.
Like, no, I'm already codependent.
But also, she doesn't know what's going on either.
Yeah, and he has a little
like,
money.
What do you like? I don't know. You do it. I mean, also, I wouldn't be dumb enough to go with them. But...
I know. We're assuming a lot.
But actually,
of,
who am I kidding? Like, let's be real here. Like, if it was the other way around, if like the hottest girl from your high school was like, "You want to go row with me?" I'd be like, "Okay, you're paying, sure. We're gonna bang. Oh my god, okay."
Honestly, dude, like I would be. I'm so paranoid. I get worried about like Hostel. Do you remember like the
Well, I was gonna bring a movie you probably haven't seen. It's Under the Skin with Scarlett Johansson.
Under the Skin.
It's basically they used real people. Where Scarlett Johansson's like an alien abducting people. But they used real people and didn't tell anyone it was a movie, so they film it. So Scarlett Johansson's just in a car being like, "Do you want to get in the car?" And the guy's like, "Well, what do you mean?" Blah, blah, blah. It's like, "Come on, get in the car." And they get in the car. And these are real people. And then after the fact, they go back to like the room or whatever, and that's when they're like, "Hey, we're filming a movie. Can you sign this like non-disclosure or whatever, like to agree we can use your image in the movie?" "Yeah, sure." And then it's just like, it just shows you how dumb some men are. Where it's like, they got in the van. Like, they didn't know it was Scarlett Johansson because like Scarlett Johansson's Scarlett Johansson, but like they do make her look a little less like... Like they give her like weird, like kind of like matty black hair, and like she has like Eastern European accent. Mm-hmm. But I haven't seen it, but I want to see it. But like it's like she's like an alien, and she takes them there, and they just go in this black goo, and then they're gone.
Oh god!
And you don't know what happens. But I haven't seen the movie, so I'm not really sure. But like that's a part of it.
Fair enough.
So like Millie could have been black gooed. She doesn't know.
The moral of the story: she could have been black goo.
Black gooed. The black goo just swallows you.
God, black goo, the worst type of goo.
That's not how I meant it. You're twisting my black goo words. Right. Dark goo.
Dark goo.
Just had to take it there, didn't you?
That damn colored goo.
No!
Is that worse?
Let's stop talking about the goo. That doesn't relate to this movie. So David's now in custody where it's like, "I didn't even do anything." He says it like that, like tossing his weight around because, he's basically a guy that can do whatever he wants. So the minute that you're told you can't do what you want, you're going to have a little hissy fit. Yeah,
it's like, I can't teleport in front of you, but I promise you if I could get away from here, you'd be super impressed.
And that's what, like, we're waiting for the magistrate. The magistrate is coming. The magistrate. Like, the magistrate. And then walks in Boom! It's Diane Lane, his mom, being like, David, you have
30 seconds.
You have 30. I love that shit. She goes like, you have 30 seconds, David. And she's in and out, runs real quick. And she's only in like one other scene. So when you hear my theory about the scene, David?
It's a very breathy. It's a very
you have 30 seconds, David. Diane Lane, great actress, just not giving a shit in this movie.
Yeah, no.
So this is my theory for this scene with Diane Lane.
Ooh.
Because she only has this scene, and then she has like child on top of the Empire State Building, and then she has, at the very end, you see her in that one scene. I really think that she didn't think they were filming that day, and she just showed up to set to like pick up her paycheck. They're like, "Oh, by the way, Diane, we have one more scene in the film." She's like, "Are you kidding me? Like, I'm just trying to get my paycheck
so I can get the
redo my kitchen. Give me the paycheck. You gotta do this one more scene. Okay, fine. And action. Okay, you gotta get out of here. Come on, David. Just real urgency. All right, you need it one more time. Use the fact that you don't want to be here in this scene. Okay, thank you, Doug. I'll use that." And then he should use it. One take, gone.
Thanks for finally directing, Doug. Okay, Diane, you're pushing it. I'll rip this fucking check in front of you.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, she says like, you have 30 seconds, David, and then he's
Lose the girl.
And yeah, she does.
Lose the girl.
Yeah, she should have added, because you're a piece of shit. You should never brought her, David. Teleport her back now.
What are you doing?
And then be done. But she's like, you have 30 seconds. He keeps asking her, Mom, what's going on? What's going on? She's like, 20 seconds, David. And then she leaves without answering anything else. Just to bring it home, she's like, I'm going to be a plot device.
Great actress. Been working since she was like young, like a teenager. Great actress. Not two fucks given.
I mean, like her screen time's what, like 5 minutes maybe?
Probably.
But between the two scenes she's in?
Probably like 5 minutes, yeah, honestly.
Okay. So yeah, why would you give a fuck if you...
Why care? Diane, you're gonna be in the sequel. Yeah, right, sequel. Okay, Doug. Yeah, I'll be back in the sequel. It's in your contract. Yeah, Doug. Whatever.
Yeah, my agent's number, right?
Yeah, I'll see you then.
Have a good night. Oh my god.
So that's when it's like, come on, Millie, we gotta go. And she's all like, oh, he's like, that's where he just decided to like take him off on like, he just like throws her at the airport. He's like, you're at the airport, go home. I gotta go and do.
Oh yeah.
He just leaves her at the airport. He doesn't give her any answers.
He just kind of abandons her again.
Yep.
He like takes her. It's kind of come full circle though, because she kind of like came into her life very randomly, like out of nowhere, and he kind of left the same way. So you have yourself to blame, Millie. You have not. He's only done what you've known him to do. It just show up out of nowhere and then just with no explanation, and you just go with everything he's saying. So you don't like David, but you also don't like Millie because she's not a bad character, so you don't know who to root for. It's just you're watching things happen to people.
If Sam Jackson wasn't so ruthless, I would be rooting for him to catch these jumpers. I really would be, but he's really sadistic about it.
Yeah.
But if he was just like, I gotta do what I gotta do, then I'd be like, yeah, Sam Jackson, you do gotta do what you gotta do, because these guys are assholes. Like,
yeah, because I think Roland's like whole thought process is like, you're not a bad jumper yet.
Yeah.
You all turn bad. And just from seeing how David has acted through the whole movie, it kind of gives credence to his argument
Absolutely.
that he's on a slippery slope to being a worse person than he already is. He's already pretty objectively not good.
Yeah.
He's just not a murderer. He's not a rapist or anything of that nature.
Yeah.
But
He's a thief.
Yeah, he's an avid thief. No responsibility. Just no boundaries with this girl that he just pretending that nothing's going wrong. Like it's so. Yeah, maybe the Paladins have maybe if you use the power too much, you start going fucking like crazy or whatever.
Or just you just go have a power. That's kind of what I figured. That's what I assumed he was getting at. Like, it would have been better if we actually had seen like a bad jumper being bad and him killing him.
Yeah.
But like we just see that first jumper just like
who's like helpless.
He's already
like, terrified.
helpless and terrified and in prison, so we don't know what he did to even get caught. And then Griffin's just kind of like, I mean, Griffin's like pretty much an anti-hero.
Yeah, because he's like doing pretty vicious stuff to the Paladin as well.
But also, like, he knows what he is, so it's just kind of like he knows he's not the hero. Like David at least thinks he's this good guy, but Griffin's just like, I'm trying to survive.
Yeah, I'm in it for myself and to kind of kill the people that have been trying to kill me, that killed my mom and everything else.
Do they say that?
Yeah, because like, and that's the thing. It's like I wish the movie had Griffin as the protagonist. It would have been a better story because David's mom is like whatever, but Griffin's mom was a jumper as well, was killed by Roland, Sam Jackson's character.
I must have just tuned out when this happened.
Yeah, like that was a whole small, because it was a little blip he said to David, and then Sam Jackson, when they meet up to like do like one of the final fights, he's like, I'll let you say your mother, and then he just freaks the fuck out and then just starts like, running. So can you imagine the movie if it's Griffin and he's just trying to really just keep running from the Paladins, staying one step ahead of them, and just him trying to get revenge for his mom, and you don't even talk about fucking Millie. You don't talk about any of these people. It's just Griffin.
Well, Damon, I have some good news and I have some bad news for you. The good news is you can find out what Griffin was doing in the spin-off video game. I'm pretty sure
there's not.
Yes, there is. It's called like Griffin's Story or like The Adventure of Griffin. Yep, it's for like the Wii and PS2 and Xbox 360, I think. I forget what it's for.
That's awesome.
Yep. So you can play that. The bad news is you have to play that game.
Maybe I can YouTube a Let's Play.
Oh my God.
One of the most obscure Let's Plays on the internet.
It's called like Griffin's Story or Griffin's Side Quest, or I don't know.
I'll be on the hunt for
Jumper it. The Griffin Adventures.
That's so great to know. I didn't.
Yeah.
You made my day. And now I can live out my fantasy of like this movie being fucking better.
Oh my God. So yeah, he drops her off, and then that's when what does happen next? Does he go back to school? Oh no, that's when he jumps back to the because he realizes that they're being chased, and then he jumps back to. He jumps back to the bully, and the bully's like, "What did you tell him?" And he's like, "Did you tell him about me? You tell him about Millie?" Because like he's in a jail cell. He's like, "Yeah, why wouldn't I? And exactly, why wouldn't he? He doesn't know what's going on."
Yeah, like it's another example of David making his own problems. Like he just like made it worse because he gave Roland another lead to fucking catch him eventually. Yeah. So you're to blame again, David.
Yeah,
whole movie.
And why wouldn't he tell him? It's like,
I'm in jail, dude.
Yeah, I'm in jail, and this guy just said he's from the FBI. Like, I'm going to tell him whatever the hell he wants to know so I can go home.
I'll tell him that and fucking more.
Yeah, and then he does, one of the few cool things I like about the jumping is I love how the fact they'll jump forward in, like, quick increments, and it just creates momentum and, like, kind of pushes people against walls. That's the only visually cool thing about the jumping, in my opinion. Yeah. Because then he does that, and he, like, shoves them against the wall, and, like, doesn't deserve it.
Not at all.
Kind of look cool.
Yeah, it looked very cool.
When Griffin later does it to Sam Jackson, it's kind of badass.
Because he jumps like 5 times in like quick succession, so it builds up like each time the jump happens.
And also they don't cut the movie to death, so you can actually see him jumping from like the camera's still, and you see him slowly jumping forward and forward and forward until finally he's like screaming, and he just pushes Sam Jackson through the wall of which we'll get to that when we get to that, but like of what he pushed him through the wall for. So then that's when like. I don't even know what gets. So then he's just like, let's team up. Marvel team up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He does say that.
He says Marvel team up.
He does say that.
Two superheroes teaming up.
Oh my God.
You get it? Because Jamie Bell was the thing.
It's like they were just trying so hard to shoehorn. Like I feel like they were trying to make their place in this very. Crowded like heat. Like, this is like like we said earlier, 2008. There was all this shit coming out at once, so maybe like they thought this would be a good little like bar, or little nudge, like a competition. It's like no, it just comes off as like kind of like desperate. It comes off as very desperate.
And what makes me really mad now is that this movie was produced by Fox, 2008. So like at this point in time, they owned all the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, and they owned a bunch of other stuff. So you could have just made your superhero shit if you wanted to. Like you own it. You could have done that instead of being like, let's make our own superhero stuff. You had the Fantastic Four and X-Men. I don't know. And they had other stuff too. I forget what they had. I mean, I think they might actually had Daredevil too at this point.
Damn.
Maybe that's why it sticks. Maybe they just reused the prop from Daredevil and then put it in this.
They just repainted
it. It looks exactly the same.
It's pretty on point. The only difference is like the tops have like nub johns to them that'll do the electricity. But other than that, the baton
and they're silver.
That's only that you can finish that in post. Well, if they were like, we're gonna change the fucking color, CGI, we'll make them silver later.
And this is when you get another cool thing again. Griffin being the cool character is that you see him, he can jump cars.
Yeah.
Which, it looks cool at first, but as the movie goes on, it just becomes more illogical and stupid. Because it's like, how have you guys not been caught? Mm-hmm. How does the world not know you exist? And also, how are you not getting in an accident?
Yeah, and
I can't even like be on the phone and drive sometimes. You're teleporting through like the air.
And also the issue is it's like the momentum. We've seen that like when they jump, like some little bit of poof like goes through. Like how is each time they jump, wouldn't the wheels of the car still be going like a little bit? They'd be going. You would never be able to control like your speed that well because you're just like jumping and you're getting back onto the road. You're skidding. You have to hit the road again. Like
what do you do in the suspension every time you land?
Yeah, like each time. Unless like you're doing the.
And it's like a Porsche too. Like you're already low to the ground.
So like it's just you're right. The more it's a cool shot, but then you keep thinking about it. You're like, I'm pissed now. I'm fucking mad about it. Oh god, but it's all right. It's all right.
So this is when
it's not even the dumbest thing they jump in the movie.
No. So then this is when like Sam Jackson's kind of investigating more to figure out who she is, and he kills his dad. Or Sam Jackson kills Michael Rooker, and Michael Rooker's just like, do you know where my son? He's like, have you seen your son? And he's like, I haven't seen my son in 8 years. Where it's like, still being a good dad, like protecting him from the law. Which, I mean,
this time
is that a good? Yeah, I mean, as far as being a parent goes, you're protecting your child.
For his character, yes, it is a good thing. And I actually wrote that Sam Jackson's like the IRS this time, and I thought that was the most intimidating one because he walks in, he's like, I'm IRS, and like Michael Rooker's like, oh, IRS, oh shit. It's like, let's just come in, please.
No, he's like, can I come in? He's like, if it makes you feel any better. It's like, that was a courtesy. I don't have to ask. But also, dude, the IRS does not make house calls.
Yeah, I mean,
come on.
I don't know. Like, I would.
Everyone's so stupid in this movie. But then maybe Michael Rooker's in some serious financial trouble, so maybe he's just kind of like, shit.
Yeah, and he's also like a vicious alcoholic, so he might have been like
trash. He's working on the car. You see like 2 beers on the hood, but it's like, oh right, he's an alcoholic. That's right. I forgot. That was like his one thing.
Don't forget about his main character flaw.
Poor man. His wife left him. His son left him.
And now he's like potentially dead. Because we don't even find out if he's dead or not.
So eventually, David jumps. Terrible. He jumps back to like his childhood home because he starts to realize like, oh no, like they know who I am, which means they might know who my dad is and who Millie is. So he jumps back to like his childhood home where like Family Guy's playing in the background.
Oh yeah.
Jesus, more product placement. Remember Fox.
Yeah,
Fox.
There was like I think the only other product placement that I remembered was like a pretty glaring like Mountain Dew and Sierra Mist in the background when you meet Griffin in his like little hideout, John. But
Griffin's hideout is just product placement.
Decked the fuck out.
Hey man, I'm playing my Xbox. Hey, give me my code red back. What are you doing? I have the new Halo.
That's right.
All the product placement was just done in Griffin's apartment.
They're like, let's just get.
And then when they were in like
bang this out right now.
I think that not in Times Square, or if they might have been in Times Square, or they were in like the London equivalent of Times Square. You see like Samsung and this and that.
Yeah, it's true.
That's good cheap product placement because it makes logical sense to be there.
It does. But what should I call it? But yeah, no. So he goes like back home, and his dad's just like. Unconscious.
Maybe dead. We don't know.
So his reaction to, make sure is because his dad's just like, oh, God, he's on the floor. He fucking teleports to a ER. Like, he's in the middle of a busy ER, room. And he's so emotional. And I think, like, your emotional output dictates, like, the energy you put out because he's, like, in distress, so he can't control it. So I think that's the reason why he teleports there. And the ground implodes. Like there's like a crater where he is now. So it's just him, his crumpled father, and just debris everywhere. And the hospital beds got pushed back a little bit. Like, it was a fucking scene. So people saw him teleport there. Yeah. And he's like, oh, I need help. Like,
I'm crying over this dad that I abandoned.
And it's like, someone get my dad some help. And then he just kind of like leaves his dad there. So we have no clue. We never
go back to the dad. We have no idea if he's alive. We don't know if he's dead.
No fucking clue.
And if they did, it was in a passing line and we missed it.
Exactly. Yeah. So lose-lose.
And this is also when we find out when Sam Jackson picks up the picture. Because when Sam Jackson's in the house, he finds a picture of Diane Lane. It's just like, who's this? And it's like, that's his mom. She split too. And he's just like,
Interesting.
Because Sam Jackson has a thing for Diane Lane.
Who doesn't?
I know, right?
She looks good in the movie too. Right. Still, and it's like, good for you.
Mm-hmm. So this is when we decide that Millie's now pretty much going to be a hostage, or she's about to be a hostage, and David shows up and is like, "You gotta get out of here, Millie." She's like, "Fuck you, man! You left me in an airport."
He barges in, like he just kind of just walks in, kind of makes himself like being like, "Okay, we gotta go." an abusive tactic, just a piece of shit. He's like trying to make her feel bad, tries to make her seem crazy for not wanting to just go with him again arbitrarily.
It's the one time where she's logical. She's like, David, last time I saw you, you left me in Rome at the airport
with no, like you said, with no explanation.
No explanation at all. Like,
what else do you want from me? Yeah, eat a dick. Eat a bag of dicks.
Well, I made so many mistakes that now it's your problem, so you gotta come with me.
And your life's in danger. Fun fact, you kind of have to, but before he even has to prove it, they show up to the house.
And then that's when he jumps her to Griffin's hideout, which we find out is under a pyramid. I'm sorry, they don't just let you build hideouts under the pyramids, guys. They're very protective of the thing. Which is another problem with, like, when he's just standing on the Sphinx. Like, I get that you jumped there, but, like, security would see you in a second. Like, you're on the Sphinx. Yeah. You can't just hang out there. And that'd be international news. Breaking news. A man is on a beach chair on top of the Sphinx.
Yeah, it's like, this has been an international incident. Like, people... There have been multiple fatwas issued because of the disrespect to our fucking national monument. It would be prime time. It'd be prime time TV.
Jumpers don't give a fuck about your monuments.
Not a single iota.
So this is when he jumps there, and Griffin's like, "Why'd you bring her, man? This and that." He's like, "Well, the Paladins, they're right behind you." And he's like, "They're right behind you? They can get through our jump scars." And did you laugh when this happened? I laughed so hard. Sam Jackson kind of sees the jump scar and pulls out like a thing of like Lysol and sprays it. And then they're just like, "I found it. Get the machine MacGyver, whatever. Who cares?
Get the MacGuffin thingamaboob." And then and also it kind of defeats what Roland's been saying this whole movie. He's like, "You guys are abomination. You're terrible. Only God can be everywhere at once." But motherfucker, you're teleporting with their powers.
Yeah.
You've lost the argument. Like, you've literally become what you. I've watched you become what you hate in this movie. So your argument, you've defeated your own argument. Do you kill yourself now? Now you've had the God power. Like, are you an abomination too, Roland? Like, just what? It's just so even the villains can't be consistent with what their goals are and how they're willing to execute them. Like, it's all just up for grabs. Like, they don't give a shit. There's no this movie's bad. It's just bad on so many fucking levels. And you don't want anyone to succeed. You don't want Roland to succeed. You don't want David to succeed. I feel like the only way I would have liked this movie is if, like, everyone jumped to one location and, like, a bomb went off, like, randomly, and then to do with the plot. It was just like, all right, it's the final battle. Oh God, we're in the wrong place.
Let's go to Fiji.
Tsunami.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, exactly. But yeah, no, they jump to Griffin's hideout.
Yeah, because they can jump through the portals now, apparently, because that's a thing.
The shittiest.
There's an hour and a half, and
also all this is like taking place like we only have like 15 minutes left, like, in the movie, and all of this shit starts to happen. Where it's like, okay, they show up to Millie's, and they go to Griffin's, and you find out that they have the technology to teleport that, and
their weird Lysol spray,
and you're like, okay,
Febreze it open.
Yeah, so it's like, how is this gonna get resolved? Like, in any time they do it not well.
Weird choppy fight scene happens. You don't know what's going on. That's where the one cool part where you see Griffin, like, progressively going faster and faster. He throws Sam Jackson through the wall of a pyramid. How you're not dead is miraculous, but he's not unconscious. And Griffin jumps away. He jumps to London, steals a double-decker bus, and then throws a double-decker bus at Sam Jackson, and then Sam Jackson dodges it.
Yeah.
You had him unconscious. Just jump on top of him and cut his head off. Like, or jump on top of him and then jump him, I don't know, 1,000 feet in the air.
Jump him up and then come back down and then watch him fall.
Yeah.
It's like, you get to watch your mother's killer die in a very quick and
or be like really
efficient way.
Be really twisted. Jump him up high enough to, like, hurt him but not kill him, and just keep dropping him.
Oh, that's even better. Yeah. Someone killed my mom like that. Yeah, because you know he killed his mom in a fucked up, brutal way.
I mean, he doesn't. The Dark Knight hadn't come out yet, so he doesn't know that. Where the fall from the sky wouldn't kill me. I'm counting on it. He throws Eric Roberts off the roof.
Yeah.
That movie came out this year, so I guess he wouldn't have known.
That's very true. Yeah. That's very, very true. But there are better ways to deal with the problem than double-decker bus. I would have to agree with that. I'd have to agree.
So they fight, and then eventually they kind of, like, throw them back through the portals at Millie's, but then they can now, not only can they jump through the portals, they can now shoot their little grapple batons through the portals to catch a person to then pull them back. So they catch Millie and bring her back, and it's like, they got Millie, we gotta save her. And Griffin's just like, I have a megaton bomb I'm gonna set off right now. I'm just like, what? Also, why are you telling him? You know he likes this girl. Just don't tell him.
What I didn't understand, like, why couldn't they do both? Why couldn't they teleport there and then, like, you know, David gets Millie and then, you know, Griffin puts the bomb in? Like, I feel like if they worked together, they could have gotten both. They would
have done their Marvel team up.
Yeah, but instead the movie takes this 180 and just like, now they're gonna fight.
Yeah, now they're gonna fight
over the detonator.
I had such a headache. This fight
we have 10 minutes left in the movie, guys, and now
it's
like
hero v hero, quote unquote hero v hero fight.
10 minutes left, a heel turn. All
this
of a sudden.
fight should have happened at like the midway point of the movie, and then they should have teamed up. Like,
yes.
What the hell is going on?
It was. I had to pause, and I'm like, I feel like it's almost done. There's so much that's happened just now. Like
so much to wrap up.
They made more work for themselves. Like if they had just like made it so it's like, okay, we're gonna team up. That would have cut down on the sets they wasted on these dumbass fight scenes we're about to see with David and Griffin.
Done fight scenes.
Choppy as fuck.
Neither one of them can really fight.
Yeah, and what's even worse about the fight scenes being as bad as they are, they worked really hard for all of these fucking shots. Like they were talking about how they would have like multiple people that they would have stunt doubles and stunt men be different versions of David and Griffin. So when they jumped, they would be able to edit like where they were like in post. So you would have like this whole choreographed scene happening where you would have to like jump at the same time, and then because they have to fall this other location, and so it's this big choreographed dance that occurred. They use CGI to put Hayden Christensen's face and Jamie Bell's face on different stuntmen and whatnot. All this time and effort just for something that looks really fucking messy. Like it really, really does not look good for the hours that were spent choreographing this. I feel bad for the amount of dancing these motherfuckers had to do.
So one thing that they do that bothers me in this fight is like they're just jumping all around the world, and at one point they jump into like this man's truck. Just some dude driving a truck. And then they jump that truck into a war zone in Chechnya. This poor man was just driving his truck somewhere. And now he's in the middle of a war zone.
And isn't it great that Chechnya is always at war in media? Like because Chechnya is Chechnya, but I love where it's like, no. We don't talk about culture in Chechnya. We talk about, do you want your AK or do you want your rocket launcher?
Yeah, so they're doing keep away with the detonator of this bomb.
I forgot that guy was in that truck. I remember the truck. I remember that.
There's a man in that truck. He's now in a war zone.
Jumpers are bad people.
Who knows what continent he's on? He doesn't know.
Jumpers are bad people.
I'm starting to agree with Paladins. I don't know. Paladins 2020? I don't know. Probably not.
Sam Jackson 2020.
Yeah. Better than one of the alternatives.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then that's when Hayden Christensen gets the upper hand on Jamie Bell, and he gets the detonator back. Sorry for jumping back and forth between actor's name and character's name. That's just how I remember things.
Yeah.
So he kind of just throws Jamie Bell into, what is that? Like an electrical tower, so he can't jump. But also,
I don't know why he's not dead.
Why isn't he dead?
Because it's not like a random. There's like an electric. It's like a transformer.
Yes.
Like it's like the main like prongs of it. He's being pinned by like the main.
Yes.
When you see like a big electrical lines, guys, like those big like loopy johns, like he's pinned by that, and it's still going.
He's alive.
It's a live current.
He's just struggling to jump. He's like doing that weird like shaky editing where you can see he wants to jump but can't.
And he's like fidgeting,
and he's like, David, you can't save her. There's too many of them.
Still not dead though. I'm just
not dead.
Just encumbered.
I don't get that.
Just inconvenienced by.
I guess they're invincible too. It's just specific electricity. I don't know.
It's like you.
But you can stab them. I don't know.
That's
so stupid. So then David jumps there, and of course the trap. He gets like
immediately
berated with the electric batons, and then we forgot to mention this is that at one point when Griffin is like jumping around with the car, he's like Hayden Christensen can't believe he's like, you can jump cars? He's like, yeah, man. Like I once knew a guy who tried to jump an entire building. What happened to him? He's dead
because he tried to jump an entire building.
Yeah. So then, we get that little nugget, and then Hayden Christensen's dealing with all these paladins, and surprise, he teleports her entire apartment into, like, the lake, I guess he was drowning in the beginning, I guess? I mean, full circle. I mean, narrative-wise, would make sense.
Something had to come full circle.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. So he jumps them all there, and then he saves Millie, and then he jumps Sam Jackson in some weird cave, and is just like, I could have jumped you with the sharks. I hope you remember that. And he jumps away, and then Sam Jackson has that smirk of like, that son of a bitch.
Yeah.
But still, he's in a cave on a cliff that's like super high up in the middle of a canyon in a desert somewhere.
Thousands of feet above like any place that you can actually climb down without like equipment without dying. Like it's still
This is worse than death.
It's kind of a death sentence.
This is worse than death.
Yeah, I don't know why he did that coy smile. Like that coy smile was not earned. the entire movie. You didn't earn
David
this look
Rice,
at the camera.
you son of a bitch.
Yeah, like I guess I'm gonna starve to death.
Yeah.
You son of a
So,
bitch.
time to wrap the movie up. So now we jump to some random house, like upstate New York, and it's huge. And Hayden Christensen knocks on the door, and surprise, Kristen Stewart.
Kristen Stewart cameo. Woo!
Yeah, I don't know why.
I don't know either.
I mean, she's pretty famous, but like, why you have her in one scene for this? I mean, I guess the sequels. That's right, the sequels. Maybe she's gonna be real important in the sequels.
Yeah, no.
Maybe she's a jumper too. We don't know.
Her face was the best part when she's just like, it's just like the open face stare, like that was made famous by Twilight. But I think her mouth's even wider now. It's just
everyone's worse in this movie. Like she's worse than she is in Twilight in this one scene, and Hayden Christensen is somehow worse than he is in the prequels, which is that's something else.
That's impressive. I have all the things to say. That's impressive.
Maybe he's not. Maybe I just like Star Wars.
That's fair. As long as you're admitting that you might have a bias for Star Wars, but also this movie's fresh in your mind how shitty it was. So it's just
I can't remember less than I watched the prequels.
Right.
Yeah, so then, surprise, Diane Lane is the leader of the Paladins, and she had to leave him to protect him. That old superhero cliche of, I couldn't protect you.
I had to, fight the... She almost made it seem like she had to fight the urge to kill him. It was like, I had to, I couldn't... If I stayed, I had to kill you. Like, that was what it was... so it's like, are you even leaving for I guess you left for the right reasons, but you're not even saying you loved him. You're saying you loved him, but you're saying if you didn't leave, you would have had to have killed him.
You could have taught him to keep it a secret.
Yeah, the only alternative was to leave.
You could have taught him to be the best jumper hunter. He could have been Supreme Paladin and you could have him hunt his own kind in a really twisted, messed up way.
Yeah, it could have been.
That would also have been a better movie. And then he has to go through an ethical debate of, I'm hunting my own people.
Yeah, but Mama said it was fine, and Mama never done me wrong later. Never know how. But yeah, no, it was that any version of this movie would have been a better would have been a better movie.
Yeah, I had so many ideas to make it. Get rid of the narration in the beginning. Have them be kids the whole time because their dumb decisions make way more sense as they're 15-year-old kids.
Get rid of all the fucking narration in the beginning. There's a lot of
insulting,
a lot of exposition.
Also, visually, you can see it all. If there's no narration, it's pretty decent storytelling visually. But it's honestly, it makes me think it's one of those things where some producers I don't understand, or test audience or I don't get it. He was in the lake, but now he's in the library. How did he do that?
Yeah.
He teleported. He what?
Yeah, no, some fucking miserable cow somewhere just I don't understand basic concepts like that. And so he goes to it's his mom again, and he's like, so Mom, I'm a jumper, you're a paladin. What does that mean? And his mom's hugging him, and then it's probably the coldest line in the movie. She's like, honey, it means I give you a head start because I love you. And then he just kind of leaves the house.
Yeah, and then the music kind of becomes a lot like at the end of the Bourne movies where it's the it's the Moby music playing.
Yeah.
But it's not. I mean, it might have been. I don't know. Maybe I should look up if it was Moby. I should have looked that up.
That's fine.
It sounds like Moby or knockoff Moby. And then they're just and then Rachel Bilson's like, so where do we go now? It's we go wherever we want, sweetheart. The world's our oyster. Now for sequels. And so what was going to happen if they made sequels was you were going to find out that Millie could jump too, and you were going to find out Kristen Stewart could jump too, and then also you were going to find out that you could jump through time. Yep. And then after that, you're going to be able to jump. I'm waiting for him to stop growing. And then you could jump into space. Remember how you were what if you jump into space? That was going to be the next thing. Is that you can jump into space. How you breathe when you jump into space, or how you don't die when you jump into space. I have no idea.
Kevin.
Maybe the books explain it. I don't know. I would have done more research in the books, but this movie's so terrible, I didn't care. Maybe the books are great, I don't know, but I'm not gonna know, because this movie did not make me want to read these books.
The movie did not deserve that much research into like the nuances of the books.
I'm surprised you knew about the special effects, about the faces. I was like, I wanted to say, I'm like, you did way more research than I did.
Because I wanted to figure out, what was effort put into this? Like how much did they try to make this concept like work? And they had a vision. They were very from all the articles I read, they were all really excited about the concept. He's like, I love the superhero, like the Dave Goyer, was that
Goyer.
Yeah, he was like, this concept really stuck out to me. Like I wanted to really like flesh it out. Like
Goyer's one of the screenwriters. It was directed by Doug Liman.
Thank you. So one of the screenwriter was very excited about the concept. Just like, I love this. I want to collaborate with the author. I think we can really like translate this to the screen. Like there was a passion behind this, but it just does not show in any fucking capacity.
There's just like little things. And that's the worst part. I hate when I watch a movie that's so bad. I'm like, if you just tweak a few things around, like move this around, add this, take this out, like this could have been good. Like just edit the action scenes a little better. At least that would, like, the action scenes gave me a headache. The only action sequence I liked was the part when Griffin real quick jumps and throws Sam Jackson through a pyramid. He throws him through a pyramid.
Yeah.
He's fine. He's just a human man.
Maybe the Paladins are superpowered. Maybe they're durable. Maybe it's a trade-off. They can't teleport, but they're like, they can't do anything.
Maybe.
I
Maybe the sequels would have explained it.
I don't know, man. Because that's the only thing about it. Because he takes like a lot of the Paladins, like they do die, but Roland takes a fucking beating. Like he gets beat up a lot. Almost drowns. Still manages to try to fight that shit off too. Like it's kind of superhuman, but I don't know. I'm just speculating. Like
yeah, and they even say at one point, Griffin says like they've been hunting us since the medieval times.
Yeah.
So that's why you would think his knife would be like a cool medieval knife that he kills him with. But no, it's just like a knife that he probably just has.
Just one more middle finger to like your expectations. Like, don't expect more.
I'm just trying to help world build your world. It's fine. I mean,
no.
Because then the next Jumper could have been a prequel. Medieval Jumpers. Also, how much better does that movie sound? Imagine like a medieval knight movie, and it's like, oh yeah, that one knight can teleport. It's like, what? I'm sorry, he can what now?
Yeah,
like, how badass would that be? Do with a swinging a sword around, and teleporting everywhere he goes with the sword.
Yeah, no.
Be like Nightcrawler when he has the sword.
He's like teleporting his horse while he's going up the battlefield. It's like, we need you over here, and then
that poor horse is like, what the hell did they get here?
Easy, and like the horse name's Millie.
Easy
Millie.
Yes.
Easy.
Our prequel Jumper movie is coming together pretty well. Or maybe we just want to make a Nightcrawler movie.
Maybe I would love it. Just a Nightcrawler movie, like his origins of the circus. That alone is just like, it's just rife for everything. He's being fucking persecuted, looking like a demon, and whatever. It would make a better. It's kind of like how I felt about how, like, Nightcrawler movie would be a better version of this. How like Upgrade was a better version of Venom.
Yeah.
And, like it's just like there are better versions out there. So maybe one day someone will make a better version of this. But
we're getting Upgrade TV show.
Are we really?
Yeah.
Oh wow! Is it a prequel? Is it like kind of like in the same?
I don't know. I just know it's in the same universe.
Fair enough.
But the same people who made Upgrade are making this. So.
But yeah, no, guys, that was Jumper. Like we said, we tried to look for a theme, and there really was not one. The movie also, it was so bad I did not care to delve deeper into it at the same time.
The best thing I could come up with was like maybe it's like the white guy's being hunted by a black guy. That's all I got. I just described the movie. That's nothing.
That's all it is.
It's a reverse U.S. Marshals.
The only thing is, it's like maybe like the movie is like check your privilege.
Yeah, kind of.
That's all the movie's kind of saying. It's like check your privilege, whatever that is. But it's like a very
don't abandon your family.
But it's a very aggressive check your privilege. It's like the one where it's like, hey, I can't control this. Check your privilege. It's like, all right.
I'm basically a demigod.
Don't stab me.
I'm basically a demigod, but I'm still gonna mope around.
It's like I'm sad. I'm sad.
Shut up.
Yeah, fuck you, Hayden Christensen. I mean, I know. He's
David Rice. Hayden Christensen, you might be a very nice man.
You might be a very nice man, Hayden. You might be, but as for now, I'm not a fan. Not a fan. But that was it, guys.
Yeah.
So once
this
again,
has been a black and white review.
Yeah. We'll see you again later.
All right.
Bye.